Good morning, everyone. Dr. Kaylee here, pelvic floor physical therapist and owner and founder of the Hope Doctors Pelvic Floor Therapy. Super pumped to talk about today's video because I do feel like this is a topic that comes up every day. Whether I'm talking to someone online, whether I am just scrolling, whether I am talking to people at an event, at a workshop, or I'm talking to someone like in the clinic. And I apologize, I have a lot of congestion. Whatever the heck is going on in America with sickness right now is absolutely absurd. But I am so excited to talk about it because one, it's part of my expertise to understand the postpartum realm, the postpartum phase, but also truly understand exercise and how to get you fit, get you active, be able to get back to the goals that you want to safely. I'll explain why I put that in quotations in a moment. But it's also something that I've gone through. I mean, I've shared a couple times that I have pelvic organ prolapse. I had a wonderful experience with my birth, and it was exactly how I wanted it to go, but I still had some things that came up postpartum that I didn't quite expect. And as a pelvic floor therapist, I'm grateful that I understood what to do and how to manage those symptoms and all of that. But again, it's not general knowledge, and it's not easy for people to find the right person to trust because there's also just like this massive amount of people online, right? So anyways, postpartum exercise, the first question that I want to kind of target is, when is it safe to start? First and foremost, we're going to eliminate the word safe because safe is kind of like a trigger word for so many people. If you think something is safe and you do it and you have a symptom, then you think you are wrong. If you think something is unsafe and you avoid it and it might be something that you actually need to be working on, then you feel guilty for not doing it. So I don't like to use the terminology safe or unsafe with any type of exercise content, information, any of that. What I do like to use is paying attention to your body and understanding what your body is telling you through this new phase, this fourth trimester, this information that you are trying to gather from your body from birth and from having now a new baby at home. And how can I do the exercise that I want to do? How can I lift weights? How can I make time for myself to do that? So all really important for that, right? But when the time frame is, I always like to remind clients that you go to the doctor, the midwife, the OB, typically at around that 6-week mark, and everyone knows that there's like this 6-week clearance. At that point, they're gonna look and they're gonna say, you're good to go exercise, do everything you want. 99% of my clients are just like, but I didn't feel comfortable or ready for that yet. So what I encourage you to do is, one, make an appointment with a pelvic floor therapist. We would love to see you at the Hope Doctors. We do virtual as well. Virtual movement analysis that can help you understand if you're ready to do workouts, how can you start to tailor those exercises, what do you need to pay attention to, XYZ. That's the first thing to do before you start exercise. A pelvic floor therapist is going to be a lot more equipped to actually release you or clear you for exercise and sex compared to an OBGYN or a midwife, because they are looking for, did the tear heal? Is there infection? Do we have any lochia, smell, discharge, anything that's out of the ordinary postpartum? We are looking for, are you ready to have sex? Are you ready to exercise? Are you ready to lift weights? What's your pelvic floor doing? So that's the first piece of advice. Secondly, 6 weeks is still quite early, but I actually encourage clients to start movement. Again, movement. I'm not saying workout. I'm not saying lifting weights. I'm not saying CrossFit. I'm not saying running, but movement around the 3 to 4 week mark postpartum. What we do in those times is we create a program for each client that understands, how do I connect to my pelvic floor? How do I engage my core well? How do I start breath work again? What about gentle glute bridges? How do those feel? What about a few clamshells? How does it feel going from sitting in a chair to standing, more like a squat versus just a movement? What does it feel like to go on a walk now? And start paying attention to how your body is responding to these little exercises. Each week, we start to increase that. And so we start with really gentle, really easy things just to get your muscles ready and reminded on how to contract, how to activate, how to do their job, right? And then from there, we start to get into an actual like strength training program. We typically see clients anywhere between like the 5 and the 8 week postpartum mark, and that you come away with a full workout program because we are able to see where are the weaknesses. And if I had to generally say where are the weaknesses, you want to think glutes, groin or adductors, and you also want to think things like the low core, right? Like those are going to be like the 3 main ones that you want to think about. There's so many other things, but those are like the 3 global muscle groups that you would be like, okay, what can I do gently? What can I do easily? And work on kind of progression from there. For example, you can do like the glute bridge, then you do a single leg glute bridge, and then you do it weighted or a hip thrust or gentle hip thrust first. Or you work on that with a little bit of overarm work, or you go into a standing hinge position. We start in a tall kneeling, half kneeling. Again, this video isn't showing you those exercises. That is coming soon, I promise. And we are going to get to the different, like, do these 3 exercises to start to improve. A lot of that's on our Instagram at the.hope doctors. But paying attention to how that feels so that you know when to progress, or you know what's too much or what's too little. And then let's say 6 weeks you were cleared and you were like, I don't know what I want to do, but I feel pretty good. So I'm just going to go back to my normal gym. I'm just going to go do my workout. And you go and you do your workout and you have symptoms. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It doesn't mean that you're causing damage. It doesn't mean that you're causing harm, especially if you didn't know or you weren't aware of when to start. Generally for a gym, let's say something like Orange Theory, CrossFit, something high level, I usually recommend clients wait until 10 to 12 weeks before they actually go to a full class, and especially if they're under my care. And the reason is because you build that foundation postpartum to get you back to that, right? Running, not till 12 weeks, right? We want to wait until we can get that strength, that coordination, build that endurance and stamina, and then go back to those higher level activities. It's important that you understand that. And if you are to go at 6 to 8 weeks and you're like, hey, I just want to go to the workout because I need that community aspect, I need that mental health, I'm never going to say no about that. That's also really important. And so that's where we say you go in and you do the scaled version. You do the lowest version that you can. You go in the corner and do your own thing for a little while. Have your pelvic therapist give you a program to do at the gym so that you're there for your community, but you're also doing what you need to do for your body. Because the reality of it is you carried a baby for 9 months, you birthed the baby at 6 weeks, we're not going to be ready to lift 150 pounds yet. That's okay. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. Social media has lied to us a lot of time. It tells us that we're ready to do that, or we should do that, and we should feel guilty if we're not doing that, or if we have symptoms then we're doing something wrong, but all of that's untrue. So give yourself lots of grace as you start to pay attention to how you're feeling in these different phases. I have a client who's a very high level CrossFit athlete. She's worked out for 10 plus years doing CrossFit style, had her first baby, came to me at 5 weeks and was just like, hey, I want to do what I need to do in order to get ready for a CrossFit workout. And she's like, I want to do it at RX. I want to do it how I always did it. I don't want to have to scale it if I don't have to. She's like, but I'm willing to put in the work to get to that point. We started work at 5 weeks. We worked together up until 10 weeks. She was released to do her first workout and she had leakage. She came to me, she was frustrated, and she's like, I did all this work. And I'm like, yeah, you did something in the workout that we haven't worked on in the clinic. And when you go to the gym, there's a whole level of adrenaline that you're not going to get when you're doing a workout at home, right? Because you're with your friends, you're doing something fast. A lot of these workouts are HIIT workouts, or they're fast, or they're speedy, and you have to do it super fast. And so it's okay when things like that happen. It doesn't mean that, you can't go back to the gym at all. It means contact a pelvic therapist and say, hey, like, I'm having pressure with this. I'm having leakage with that. I'm feeling XYZ. This is not working for me. I don't know what to do. But don't let yourself not go. Don't let yourself cancel the membership immediately. Don't let yourself get to the place of saying, like, I'm broken, I can't do it, because you're not broken. You can do it. We just need to find and fine tune that foundational movement program for you so that you know what to do. Majority of my clients have 1 to 2 things to do right before a workout to prepare their pelvic floor and their core. They go do their workout, and then they have 1 to 2 things to do right after, and then they're good. They're golden. We're not having symptoms. That's the goal. And so keep that in mind as like time frame. I always tell clients, and then it takes 8 to 12 weeks to build strength, to see muscle changes. You'll feel it in 2 to 4 weeks, but it takes about 8 to 12 weeks to see difference. So when you come in and you're like, I still feel like I look pregnant, that can take a really long time to go away. And that's a whole other topic for another day, is the feeling like you look pregnant, diastasis recti, right? We have to discuss that because those are a lot of concerns that are really important. So, that is a video for another day. But just know that that is something that can be worked through. And so you're not broken. The second question that I wanted to address really quick is, like, what is safe to do postpartum? Again, I hate that word safe. I hate saying something is safe versus unsafe. Here is like the bottom line, the moral of the story. It is not what you are doing, it is how you are doing it. I don't care if you're doing Pilates, yoga, running, jump rope, if you're doing HIIT workouts, Orange Theory, whatever, like, great. I care how you're doing it and how you're feeling. Is it causing symptoms? Is it too much pressure for your body right now? Are we in a phase where we can do that yet? And so what we do is we work with what you're doing and we modify it. We change some things like, oh great, you're doing this into an overhead press. How about we just do that into a shoulder like hold? Just get up into that front. Wow, I'm losing my verbiage today. But getting into a position that isn't exactly that full movement so that we can teach our bodies how to absorb that pressure, how to move forward in that direction, right? But we're not going to the point of failure yet. We will get there because that's very important. But where to start? Pelvic PT, Pilates is great. Start at a low level though. Start at a low level strength training class. Again, I wouldn't jump or run until 10 to 12 weeks postpartum. I wouldn't do super heavy weights until 10 to 12 weeks postpartum because it's just something that's it needs time to build. It makes no sense when you think about like the trajectory of time to start too early for that because it's gonna set us back later. So just do it the right way the first time, right? Pay attention to your body, find someone who knows what they're doing. Other things that I really like are swimming, right? Walking programs, different things like that you can really implement, but pelvic therapy is going to be the best option to give you exactly what your body needs. But look for more information coming. Drop any questions that you have down there. Don't forget to subscribe. So much information coming this year. I'm so pumped about 2026, but postpartum exercise does not have to be scary. There is no safe, unsafe thing. Ignore all the people that are saying that there are. There is a way to do it for you and your body, but that is different for each person. That's why it's so important that you find someone to put on your team.